Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw, and I'm here with Gilberto Salcido, who's the Vice President of Tourism for Pro Colombia, which is the tourism entity for Colombia. And we've actually talked to Gilberto before, live, and now here we are on Zoom, and we're going to find out what tourism is like down right now in Colombia, what the effect of the situation, the coronavirus crisis is, and we're going to find out a lot about the marketing and plans that Colombia has to bring back tourism to the country. And this is Insider Travel Report. Now, first of all, Gilberto, our connection is not good, but we're going to give it a shot here. What is the situation right now in Colombia with the coronavirus pandemic? Has the country been hit by this pandemic, and has it shut down, or is it opening up now, or will it soon open up? A lot of questions, but we're kind of trying to find out what the status of Colombia is now.
Well, James, thank you. Thank you very much for this interview. It's an honor to be here again with you. Well, first of all, this pandemic, it is a crazy situation for everyone and for every industry, and especially, of course, to the tourism industry. So in Colombia, it's not different that we are living all around the world, and we are taking some measures to see how to survive to this moment and this pandemic. So first of all, the government of Colombia made some adjustment to the tax calendar to give to the enterprise some liquidity in this moment, and also we created in the government a line of credit denominated Colombia Answers, and it was a credit or a line of credit close to the $62.5 million for the tourism enterprises. Well, we have exceptional rules, of course, to the aircraft operation here in the country, and of course all these slot rules and all this regulation in the airline industry are changed because of the situation. So right now we have these measures to try to get over the pandemic and the problems that is generated this pandemic in the industry and the liquidity, as I told you. And right now, of course, we don't have any occupation in the hotel industry. The aircrafts are on Earth. So, well, what we are doing is preparing for the reactivation of the tourism and the international tourism for Colombia. So we built up a whole strategy to attend, of course, the promotion in the connectivity side. We are, of course, enhancing all the tools and all the things that we can give to the different enterprises to improve the vision and the point of view that is going to give us this pandemic and this new tourism that is going to emerge after the coronavirus. Of course, we are getting in contact with different markets, trying to see which plans we can build together and how we can activate together when all this will be over. And of course, we also have a reshape of all the plan that we made last year for this 2020, and of course trying to reorganize and trying to define different resources that we need when everything is going to be normal, or when we get into this new scenario of post COVID-19. So
yeah, well, they call it whatever the new normal is, right?
yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Now, what were the tourism numbers looking like before this crisis? Was 2020 going to be a very good year for Colombia?
Yeah. Well, to see that, we have to take this situation that we have as a destination. And well, Colombia was growing very well, was growing better than the rest of the countries in Latin America. We grew 1.827% respect to the 2018. We obtained something like 4.5 million visitors to the country. So we had a great moment. Just to have a reference, the USTOA, by example, said that with Croatia and Egypt, Colombia was hot trending topic destination for this 2020 for the North American market. So we expected, of course, a wonderful year, but we have to face now this coronavirus situation. However, we are going to. The idea is to have, of course, this plan to retake this new normal and these numbers, and of course the growing that we have for the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. Now you talked about your strategy for bringing back visitors to Colombia. Obviously, we're interested in the kind of marketing and the strategy you will have for the U.S. market. And I know you've already started to raise awareness of Colombia with a campaign. And I'm thinking of here the Let's Take Care Now So We Can Meet Again campaign. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. Well, when this pandemic started, we thought, okay, what do we have to do to maintain this position of Colombia in the different markets, and of course, especially in the American market, and not vanish from the scenario. So what we did was to launch this tactic, this strategy of communication with this message. This is a solidarity message. This is an empathic message that let us, as a destination, connect our destination to this new situation, and to tell everyone that is thinking to come to Colombia, okay, stay at home, take care of yourself and your people, and then we're going to wait here in Colombia. This is a very effective way to maintain our destination as a good destination, and of course to show, of course, this consciousness of the moment. So that's it. I think this is a very good tactic that we made, and right now more than 200 million impressions all around the world in the different channels that we use. We obtained that. So I think that it is going to be a very effective tool for the future, and of course for the reactivation and to connect this message for the future.
Well, we have a little challenge with your video, but we hear you fine. So hopefully people will listen to what you're saying. Now, let's talk a little bit about how you are working with travel advisors here in the U.S. to get them ready to book Colombia when the time is right. How are you educating them about the destination now when they actually have time to learn more about it?
Well, we constantly keep our tools of education and in the different destination. Of course, the United States is very important for us because this is something like 25% of our share. So our people in that market, we have a whole office there dedicated for the tourism. They are in contact permanently with all the enterprises, the operators, airlines, and of course showing our destination, and of course all the marketing efforts that we do in the through the digital channels and through the different channels that we have in the States. But of course this is a permanent task that we do in the American market, of course.
No, that's great, and I know it is a very important market. I know we have met at different travel agency conferences here in the States, and hopefully we will again one of these days. Let's talk a little bit about the destinations within Colombia that you expect to come back maybe a little quicker, at least in terms of visitors going there from the U.S.
Well, first of all, I think that after this pandemic, Colombia is going to have a very good position in the international markets, just because maybe our main assets, as I told you maybe in the last interview, are the natural assets. So I think people after the pandemic is going to look for this kind of open spaces, the contact with nature, and Colombia and the destinations here in Colombia, all of them offer this kind of destination. So of course, we are going to activate maybe in the first place a destination like Bogota that receive, of course, the 75% of the international traffic to Colombia, Medellin, Cartagena, Barranquilla, among others. But these are going to be the main ports. And of course, you're going to find very close all these natural destinations and different experiences. Sometimes our problem is to explain Colombia as a destination, because we are a variety of destinations, we are a variety of cultures and different places and venues, and of course we are a reflect of the diversity that you can find in Latin America.
Yeah, no, and absolutely. I think sort of that trio that you mentioned, at least with the one other, Bogota, Medellin, and Cartagena, everybody started to get to know those three destinations. And I know you want to get people outside of them and into the countryside and explore other parts of Colombia too. But they have become your brands, I think, in a way.
Yeah, our brands, and of course, the main airports are located there. So you're gonna get to these places in the first moment, and of course it's pretty easy to find some other destinations, some other natural destinations pretty close to the big cities. Just in Bogota, you're gonna find a national park named Chingasa. In Barranquilla, you're going to find Isla Salamanca, that is another national park, maybe half hour from Barranquilla. Or in Cartagena, you're gonna find, of course, a lot of beaches and a lot of open places pretty close to the city. So, is what I told you. Is sometimes it's pretty difficult to explain how easy it is to find a variety of the destination pretty close to the core cities in Colombia.
Sure. Now, one of the things I think you will benefit from is your proximity to the United States. I mean, we talk here about how travel will first start local, very local, then it'll expand domestically here in the States, and then ultimately internationally, but to destinations that maybe are a little closer. And that means, you should be in that ballpark between Mexico, Colombia, Caribbean, Canada, places that people can get to within a 2 to 3 hour flight, right?
Yeah, of course. And maybe you can consider us as a domestic flight, because sometimes from Seattle, I don't know, to Florida or something like that, you have to spend 5 hours or something like that. While if you take a flight from Miami or from Orlando to Bogota, you're going to spend maybe 3 hours and a half.
Yeah, and that's absolutely true. And so you can benefit from that. And of course, we're all looking to see when there will be airlift, when flights will go, and that's sort of been key. And we're still dealing with this crisis here with the airline industry about when they will start service. They've really cut back enormously, and I don't think they're quite ready to just. Have you had any talks with airlines about the possibility of restoring service to Colombia?
Well, we keep in touch permanently with the airlines here in Colombia and, of course, in the United States. We don't know really when it's going to reopen this international market, but you know what? I think we hope it will be pretty soon. We hope that, and of course, what we receive from the different airlines is the message that Colombia is on the main markets to reactivate the activity. So that's good news for us and good news for the American people.
Yeah, and then of course you're waiting also for cruise lines, which had become a good market for you to return as well to places like Cartagena. And then we have to wait to see what's going to happen with them as well, right?
Yeah, it's very important for us to reactivate this industry also. For Cartagena is crucial to have this cruise line again in its port. And of course, as I told you, we keep in touch every time with them, trying to understand the different ways that we are going to use to reactivate this and all the connectivity that we have with the world, and of course with North America.
Now, just to close it out, are there any other messages you would like to get out to? We have 100,000 travel advisors that are on our subscriber rolls here and hopefully are looking at us. And oddly enough, now more than ever, since they have the time, they are engaging. Is there any other message you'd like to get out about Colombia, your marketing programs, and things that they probably should be doing right now?
Well, the final message is the message that we are trying to send to the whole world, that we have to take care now so we can meet again soon in the future. So thank you, James, very much for this space and the opportunity to speak with you and all the audience that you have in the professional market of tourism. We hope everything will be over pretty soon, and well, we will see. We have a lot of work to do to reactivate this magnificent industry.
No, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And as we're looking at this, we find that it is wonderful to do virtual, but it is also technically sometimes challenging. And it's funny because just at the end of the interview here, your video suddenly caught up. Yep. But we heard all of what you had to say, and you said it very well. And I personally, I've told you this in the past, I have yet to get to Colombia. I have wanted to for a long time, and hopefully this year, I know there's some potential events coming up in the fall, I will get a chance to do that and explore all the wonderful things your country has to offer. But I want to thank you for taking the time from your office, or your home actually, I guess, to do this, and we look for good things in the future.
Thank you very much, James. Bye-bye.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.